You know Tesla, YouTube, and LinkedIn? Along with dozens of other billion-dollar companies, they all have one thing in common. They were founded or funded by people who worked at the same company in the early 2000s. This wasn't Apple or Google. It was a chaotic payments startup that almost went bankrupt multiple times. The company was PayPal, and its alumni became known as the PayPal Mafia. But how did a group of inexperienced 20-somethings fighting over a failing company become the most powerful network in tech? The answer starts with an idea that sounds almost ridiculous today. The accidental empire, from Palm Pilots to payment wars. In 1998, Max Levchin, a 23-year-old Ukrainian immigrant, teamed up with Peter Thiel to launch Confinity, with plans to create security software for handheld devices like Palm Pilots. Their original vision flopped completely, but during demos people got excited when they saw money being transferred between devices, so they pivoted hard to digital payments in 1999. Meanwhile, across town, Elon Musk had much bigger plans. In March 1999, he launched X.com with a vision that made Confinity look tiny. Musk didn't just want to send money via email, he wanted to replace traditional banking entirely. X.com would offer savings accounts, loans, investment services, and insurance. This wasn't just a payments company. This was the future of finance, or so Musk believed. The two companies should have stayed in their own lanes. They didn't. eBay users became the battleground where both companies fought for customers. Both offered generous sign-up and referral bonuses, sometimes $10 to $20 per new user, until they were burning cash at unsustainable rates. The competition turned vicious. They poached each other's customers with increasingly desperate tactics. They hired away key employees. They even tried to sabotage each other's partnerships. Here's the thing that nobody expected. Their war nearly killed them both. By early 2000, both companies were running out of money. The dot-com bubble was starting to burst, investors were getting nervous, the very competition that was supposed to establish market dominance was destroying any chance of survival. The irony was perfect. Two companies fighting to death realized they had to join forces or die together. In March 2000, they announced a 50-50 merger. It wasn't a strategic master plan, it was pure survival. Confinity's payment focus would combine with X.com's banking ambitions. Musk would be CEO of the merged company, but bringing these warring factions together would create problems nobody saw coming. The merger was just the beginning of their troubles. Chaos and innovation, the fraud wars that forged legends. The merged company faced an immediate crisis that made their internal conflicts look trivial. Criminals had discovered PayPal was basically a money printing machine. They created fake accounts using stolen credit cards, transferred money to real accounts, then cashed out before anyone noticed. Peaking at a $10 million monthly burn, PayPal teetered on collapse. Picture Elon Musk as CEO and Max Levchin as CTO fighting over the company's direction while fraudsters drained their bank account. Musk wanted to build the world's first online bank. Levchin wanted to focus on payments and security. Every company meeting turned into a battle over priorities while Russian hackers created thousands of fake accounts daily. Credit card thieves laundered money through PayPal faster than the company could track it. Identity thieves used PayPal to convert stolen personal information into cold cash. The company was fighting a two-front war. Inside the office, executives argued about strategy while the engineering team tried to keep the lights on. Outside, an army of fraudsters exploited every weakness in their system. The fraud was so sophisticated that traditional security measures were useless. Desperation breeds innovation. The PayPal team started working 16-hour days, sleeping in the office, building fraud-fighting technology that didn't exist anywhere else. They created algorithms that could spot suspicious patterns in real time. They developed risk-scoring systems that analyzed thousands of data points per transaction. Most famously, Max Levchin and Dave Gausbeck invented the Gausbeck-Levchin test, one of the first CAPTCHAs, to block bots from creating fake accounts. This wasn't just about PayPal anymore, they were creating security tools that would protect the entire internet. Musk's management style made everything worse. He wanted to rewrite the entire PayPal system using Microsoft technology instead of the Unix-based infrastructure that Levchin's team had built. The engineers revolted. They knew changing the core system during a fraud crisis would be suicide. Musk pushed harder. The board watched their CEO fight his own team while the company burned money. The end came dramatically. In September 2000, while Musk was on his honeymoon in Australia, the board called an emergency meeting. They voted him out as CEO and replaced him with Peter Thiel. Musk found out about his firing when he landed at the airport. The crisis forged unbreakable bonds between the people who survived it. They had fought together against impossible odds and saved the company itself. But their shared experience was about to become something much more valuable than anyone imagined. The billion-dollar exodus. How eBay's acquisition created a tech dynasty. What happens when a group of battle-tested entrepreneurs suddenly has billions of dollars and a shared grudge against corporate bureaucracy? PayPal filed for its IPO in February 2002 at $13 per share, but before the public offering could gain momentum, eBay swooped in with a $1.5 billion stock acquisition in July 2002. This wasn't just another Silicon Valley acquisition. It was the moment that transformed struggling startup employees into wealthy investors with the resources to reshape tech forever. The numbers were staggering. Elon Musk walked away with $175.8 million from his 11.72% stake, according to SEC filings. But he wasn't alone. Dozens of PayPal employees suddenly found themselves millionaires. Max Levchin, Peter Thiel, Reid Hoffman, and others each pocketed millions. For people who had been living on ramen noodles and sleeping in the office just 2 years earlier, this was life-changing money. The culture clash started immediately. PayPal's team was used to moving fast and breaking things. They made decisions in minutes, not months. eBay operated like a traditional corporation with layers of approval, formal processes, and endless meetings. The PayPal crew found themselves trapped in bureaucratic hell. They couldn't launch features without committee approval. They couldn't experiment without business cases. Everything that made PayPal innovative was being strangled by corporate structure. The exodus began almost immediately. One by one, the original PayPal team members left eBay. They couldn't stand the corporate environment, but now they had something more valuable than job security. They had capital and connections. The acquisition money wasn't just personal wealth sitting in bank accounts, it became seed funding for the next generation of revolutionary companies. Their shared experience created something unprecedented in Silicon Valley. These weren't just former colleagues with some money to invest, they were combat veterans who had saved each other during the fraud wars and boardroom battles. They trusted each other completely because they had already proven their loyalty under extreme pressure. When one of them had a business idea, the others didn't just listen politely. They wrote checks. The name PayPal Mafia came later in 2007 when Fortune magazine gathered them for a photo shoot. They posed like gangsters in an homage to classic mob movies. The photo was supposed to be a joke, but the name stuck. By then, their collective impact was becoming impossible to ignore. The Mafia's empire, how shared trauma built Silicon Valley's most powerful network. These companies now represent hundreds of billions in value. Elon Musk alone built Tesla into an $800 billion company and turned SpaceX into the world's most valuable private space company. Reid Hoffman created LinkedIn, now worth $26 billion. Chad Hurley and Steve Chen founded YouTube, which Google bought for $1.65 billion. Here's what made them different. Their inexperience became their superpower. Traditional investors and executives followed conventional wisdom. PayPal alumni ignored the rules because they didn't know them. They saw opportunities that established players missed completely. When everyone said social networks were dead after Friendster failed, Peter Thiel invested $500,000 in Facebook. When car companies insisted electric vehicles would never work, Musk bet everything on Tesla. The bonds they formed fighting fraud and boardroom battles created something unprecedented. These weren't networking contacts exchanging business cards at conferences. They were combat veterans who had saved each other's careers and the company itself. When Max Levchin needed funding for his next venture, Peter Thiel wrote a check without hesitation. When Reid Hoffman launched LinkedIn, other PayPal alumni became early investors and advisors. The cross-investments created a self-reinforcing cycle of success. Peter Thiel's Founders Fund backed SpaceX and Airbnb, while Reid Hoffman's Greylock funded other breakout startups. PayPal alumni sit on each other's boards, share deal flow, and provide introductions that open doors across Silicon Valley. They created venture capital firms like Founders Fund that have funded hundreds of startups. Their influence reshaped how Silicon Valley operates. The PayPal model of rapid iteration, data-driven decisions, and fighting through crisis became the startup playbook. Their hiring practices, company cultures, and investment strategies spread throughout the tech ecosystem. But this concentration of power raises serious concerns. A small group of mostly white men now controls massive chunks of the tech industry. Their political views, particularly Peter Thiel's libertarian ideology and backing of controversial political causes, influence entire companies and platforms. Critics argue they've created a system that perpetuates their own advantages, while excluding diverse voices. The PayPal Mafia accidentally created the blueprint for modern Silicon Valley networking. They proved that the most powerful connections aren't built in boardrooms through small talk and golf games. They're forged in the fires of shared struggle, late nights solving impossible problems, and the trust that comes from surviving crisis together. But their story reveals something deeper about what really creates lasting professional bonds. The PayPal Mafia's success wasn't just about money or connections, it was about learning that the best networks are built through shared adversity, not shared success. These people trusted each other because they had already survived the worst together. They had fought fraud, navigated boardroom coups, and saved each other's careers when everything was falling apart. As Max Levchin said, solving fraud together created the unbreakable bonds that funded future success. Think about your own professional relationships. Are you building bonds through comfort or through overcoming challenges together? In a world where everyone wants to network their way to success, maybe the real secret is finding people willing to fail with you first. Their collective success emerged from boarding together on a sinking ship. And that unity built the tech world we know today.